record on this computer. Welcome. This is the this is the December 2021 that got delayed to January 2022 version of the PMI Central Iowa President's Chat. I am Lynn Aubrey. I was the 2021 president, and with me is Brent Humphries, who is your 2022 president, and Brian Shadle, who is your 2022 president-elect and will be your 2023 president. So we wanted to start a series for the chapter for the three of us to get together and chat about things that pertain to the chapter. We don't get to do that since we're doing everything virtually, and things look like we'll probably be doing virtual things for quite some time still. But we wanted to give an opportunity to get, word out to the chapter, because we don't get to see you very much at the chapter meetings and not a lot of time to network. So we're going to start this. We're hoping that people will email us questions or post comments either on the blog or on the YouTube video, and we're just going to keep these sorts of things rolling. For tonight, I thought, because we needed a topic, so I was pushy, still acting as with my president hat, and I thought that this would be a wonderful time for the three of us to chat about what we see for this upcoming year for the Central Iowa chapter. So I'm going to just start and throw out two things. Pandemic, which I think everybody is well used to talking about at this point. And then I also wanted to mention PDD, our Professional Development Day. So in terms of the pandemic, and Brent and Brian, please feel free to interrupt me. I see us continuing a lot of our same virtual offerings that we did last year, and I know that everybody really wants to, the board certainly wants to be meeting in person when we can, but we definitely are very sensitive to the pandemic, and we don't want to get our people sick. So I see us definitely being virtual in Q1 and probably Q2. I think the rest of the year is going to look very similar to what we did last year. Thoughts?
Well, I'd have to say that we're focused primarily on making sure that we're going to prioritize the safety of our members and volunteers. So having said that, we did approve and authorize the participation in this podcast without masks. Hopefully that's okay. But yeah, we do want to be as circumspect as we can with your safety and the safety of those around us. So we will be aligning with guidance coming from Global about events that they're hosting and continuing to host in the virtual mode for at least the first half of the year, as Lynn had mentioned. But as she also mentioned, we do see a lot of benefit from being able to have that interaction in person, the give and take and discussion and all of that. And so where we're able to do that safely and in a way that is consistent with our mission, we're going to go ahead and do that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, and the creek don't rise, as the saying goes, we'll have an eye towards having some events at some point in the very, very ill-defined future that will hopefully be both safe and in person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm on board with that. And I can't wait also until we can get in person, see each other face to face. But, I think we've learned a lot over the last couple of years. We've learned what to do. Lynn and Brent, you guys did amazing things this past year, whether it was PDD or keeping, the monthly meetings going, things like that. And then the other side of that coin, we're going to look back and reflect on that year and reflect what we can do different and reflect on how we can get more people to our online meetings. So I think it's moving forward in the way you guys are speaking to, but looking back a little bit and seeing what we can do to even improve more. And you guys did some amazing stuff last year. So looking forward to some amazing things this next year, and watching Brent display his humor and bringing fun to every meeting. It's going to be a good time. And I think it's just going to get better and better. Everybody's adapting to this environment. So I think it's really going to get better and better. And we're going to get more participation and more participation.
Yep, agreed. Agreed. And speaking to that, new things, um, for the chapter members who are watching this, we are always looking for new ideas. So if there's something that you would like to see, okay, yes, we would love it if you would like to see it, if you would like to help make it happen, because we're always looking for volunteers. But just pass on the idea, the suggestion. Even if it's something that another chapter is doing that you just really like, feel free to pass that on to us, and we're happy to take a look at it and see if we can make that work with our chapter. We're willing to try lots of things because we know that not one size fits all. Not everybody comes to the chapter meetings, not everybody comes to the book club, not everybody comes to our networking events because it's not for everyone. Um, we try to make it as inclusive as possible, but we're always looking for new ideas and new things to try. So feel free to send those on in pretty much to any of the board members, but if you want to send it like specifically to the current president, that will work too.
It will. And if you've signed up for the premium access to the podcast, there are additional opportunities that you'll see in your welcome packet there. So look for that opportunity.
Speaking of also speaking of new things, um, PDD Pro Dev Day. I was so very pleased with Pro Dev Day this last year. Um, Offering things online is a huge challenge. We haven't traditionally done that um, prior to the pandemic, so a lot of the online stuff was new. Even though a lot of us use like Zooms during meetings, during work, presenting learning content is a very unique skill set that many of us don't do. So there's a lot of learning that the board has gone through in 2020 and in last year. And last year we had the opportunity to work with Central Illinois and Central Indiana and provide a Pro Dev Day. And it worked so nicely that in the lessons learned that we had after the event happened, I looked at the other two presidents and said, can we do this again next year? Because this worked out really nice. So we committed last year with the 2021 board, all three chapters committed with last year's board to do it again this next year. So we're looking at September. I apologize, I don't have the dates handy, but it's mid-September. I want to say it's like the 13th, 14th, 15th time frame, whatever that Thursday, Friday is. And we will be putting out a call for speakers soon so we can get the speaker lineup done and looking for sponsors. And we'll be looking for people to help out with that. So we will be putting out blog posts and posts on LinkedIn looking for volunteers to help with certain aspects of it because it's not a small thing. Even if we are doing it in person, PDD is not a small thing. So we love our volunteers that are able to help out, and we're going to look at great speakers, great content, and doing it all again this next year. So thank you for everybody who participated and sent in compliments, and the speakers had a great time and other attendees had a great time. And you know, we do this sort of thing for you guys, and so we really appreciate everybody's participation and being present, and it was a great event. So we're looking forward to it again this year. Yay. So
Yeah, and lots of possibilities there. Frankly, I think this probably needs to be talked about a little bit more. The idea of joining forces to deliver a Pro Dev Day was an inspired decision. And, you know, proud to say that that was something that came largely, was driven largely out of Central Iowa. So, we really appreciate all the other Central eyes, Indiana and Illinois, but we're the best. So the and to see that continue going into 2022, I think is a recognition that we're identifying things that are working as the world changes around us with the pandemic and everything else. And we're taking the steps that we need to in order to successfully achieve our goals and deliver for our members. And so I'm excited to see that continue. And thanks in advance, Lynn, for all the hard work that I know is going to be happening in 2022 for Pro Dev Day. Thank you.
Well, I was really excited to be involved in the recent regional meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And when you guys spoke to the fact that you brought states together, it blew everybody's mind. They're like, how in the world did you guys pull that off? And you guys are ahead of the game in the respect that international PMI is really focusing on this collaboration concept. They're talking about collaborating with other associations. Where can we integrate with other associations? And as PMI 4.0 is taking our scope from this and bringing it out here, it's just bringing more talent into PMI, bringing more expertise and bringing more topics that make it interesting for us. How many times can you have a seminar on scope or scope creep and things like that? So I'm really excited and so impressed with you guys that you pulled this thing off. It's impressed the nation, and it's really in line with where PMI is going. So good job, you guys.
Yeah, which makes me, that's a great point of looking for collaboration opportunities, not just in between PMI chapters, but we don't do our work in a vacuum. We integrate with, I know we have a certification for business analysts, but there's also professional organizations out there that provide a lot of the expertise that we all need to accomplish our projects. And so if any member has an idea for collaboration with another organization that could provide an interesting speaker topic or opportunity, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know, because we're interested in that sort of information as well. Not just to expose people to project management, which obviously we are interested in, but also to see what sort of specialities that they can talk on that gives us more understanding about how they do what they do, that makes it easier for us to do what we do. So that's an exciting route. I'm very happy to see so many things we can do with collaboration. So it's going to be exciting, I think, the next few years in our region and across the globe with collaboration, as we find more and more people who are comfortable with providing the virtual stuff and taking care of that. But since it's virtual, we can offer it to lots of people. So I see more and more collaborations being very cost effective, and seeing more of them happen throughout our region and throughout PMI itself.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what leaders do, and leaders get things done. And what do project managers do? They get things done. What do good leaders do? They understand the steps to get things done. And a lot of people don't realize that. You would think every leader in this country would want what you guys have been giving, your content. So I think there's just so many opportunities to draw more people in and expand what we're doing.
And one of the fun things about the collaboration is not just for us on the planning committee. This is where we saw it first, but also at the event itself, was that a lot of our members met each other at the last PDD, or we work with each other. And by being able to bring in that element from a different chapter or a different state, we introduced more stories and different perspectives into the conversation. So it's a wonderful tool to have to expand your own horizons. That, you know, that's an ROI we can offer anyone who participates in what we provide is, hey, you get to meet new people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise. And from the volunteer standpoint, I got to see how Illinois does things and how Central Indiana sets things up, and they do things differently than we do. They use different tools than we do. So I got to extensively use things like Trello, which I know about. I've dabbled in it before, but we got to, you know, see some of the bells and whistles that you can do with it and actually use it, and that's such a wonderful opportunity that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So there's a lot of benefits to doing the collaboration. So yeah, we'll be talking, I think, with in Illinois and Indiana further throughout the year, not just PDD, but if there's other opportunities to share resources and speaker chapter meeting opportunities, we'll probably be pursuing those as well. And chapter members, like, we want you to attend our stuff. We want to provide you stuff you want to attend, but there's nothing stopping you from attending other chapter opportunities. If you want to take a look at other chapters and what they have, you know, they have registration just like we have registration, so you don't have to be a member of that chapter to attend their offerings. And I highly recommend checking out you know, chapters online. And we don't have time in the rest of the evening for me to list all the chapters I think are pretty awesome, but there's some that are out there that are doing just amazing things. So highly recommend that if you are looking for some PDUs or something unique and unusual, check out some of the other chapters. Not just our region, just all over the globe. If they're offering things at a time that you can attend, like Italy sometimes is hard to attend because their stuff is at like 2 o'clock in the morning for us. Probably not going to attend that. But
Plus, it's in Italian
sometimes.
sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes you'll find things and yeah, like, that's a good point, and I'm laughing at the joke because that was funny. But sometimes the chapters do provide their stuff in English. So don't let it being in a different country and possibly a different language stop you from checking it out and seeing if they have an English option. Unless you happen to speak, you know, Portuguese or Spanish or Italian or German, then go for it. But yeah, there's some awesome things out there that they offer. Um, yeah, the micro certifications, PMI 4.0, definitely something to keep an eye at. I think we're going to see, I don't know what the time frame is on the change of leadership at PMI Global. Sunil resigned. He's pursuing other amazing opportunities. I'm very excited for him. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on what his future holds. But I believe that we are looking, at last I knew, we were looking for a new CEO of PMI Global. So I expect that that's going to bring some changes. But I'm excited that a lot's been invested in the PMI 4.0 and the micro certifications. So I expect to see more come out of that, more things growing with that. So that'll be fun watching what this next year holds for PMI.
Yeah, go ahead, Brent.
Okay, just real quick. At a global level, that's definitely true, and I'm glad you highlighted the whole micro certification thing. I know that historically PMI has been known for the project management professional certification, and it's had a reputation for being an arduous journey from start to finish, with a challenging exam and a lot of preparation. These micro certifications are much more tightly constrained. They're less generalist. They're more focused, and the path to complete them, I think, is a little bit more direct. So there's a real opportunity to get from acquired experience to preparation to exam completion to micro certification than there may have otherwise been for some of those sort of big bang certifications that have been the hallmark of PMI in the past. So that's an important one, I think, going forward as well. I do also think that it's important to look at the local stuff that will be chapter related. Um, this is our 30th year in existence as a chapter here in Central Iowa. So we will be doing some specific celebratory things along that front. So look for that sort of thing. If you want an early peek at what some of those things are going to be, you'll find that in premium access to the podcast. Once you have your premium subscription, you'll get all kinds of early bird stuff that will give you the real jump on what's happening here ahead of everybody else.
Brent's really pushing that premium subscription thing.
We'll get a few more followers, then we'll trigger that, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have that time to prep it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're talking about the PMI and what they call the 4.0.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's all about helping our members be more relevant, helping our members be more valuable to their clients and their organization. So all these things that they're doing, I'm really excited about it.
Yep.
You know, it's going to be a lot of value to our members. And, being a PMI member has been valuable in the past, but it's going to be even more valuable in the future. They're doing some really, really good things. So we'll make sure that we're announcing, just like you guys are speaking to with these micro certifications along the way, and keeping everybody educated on what's available, because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's very exciting.
Absolutely. And we'd like to hear what challenges people are facing. That helps us provide some more direct content. I know there's some companies here in the central Iowa area that really do ask about what's your activity level in PMI. That they get excited when they hear things like, from my viewpoint, that I'm on the board, or that I participate in things like organizing things like PDD, and some of the other stuff that we offer. And I know that there are also employers out there that are like, okay, nice. Can you do the work? That's what we care about. So we're very interested in hearing what individual challenges are. We may not be able to speak to it necessarily directly for the person who brings it up, but speak it to it in general. And if we see trends, then that helps us investigate options, more education to C-suite, opportunities to teach them or provide learning opportunities for them, or focus on a particular issue. If we hear like a whole bunch of people are like, can we talk about risk? Can we have like something that pertains directly to risk? Then that gives us that sort of feedback, and we can look for a workshop or something unique, and not necessarily just go, oh well, we'll just throw a speaker at that. That may not solve the issue. We want to hear what the issue is, that we can provide something that speaks directly to it. So send in ideas. Absolutely, we want to hear them.
Yeah, one of the things that was originally an idea from a few years ago that blossomed into something really worthwhile has been the book club. I know that's something that wasn't really something that came down from global or from any type of broad discussion within the board or the membership. One person said, why isn't there a book club? There ought to be a book club. I'm going to help start a book club. And now there's a book club. That book club meets periodically throughout the year. They cover books that are relevant to the practice. And there's some interesting and lively discussion in those, all because there was an idea. Someone looked around and said, why not? So if you've ever wondered, why don't we do X? Maybe your thing will be the next book club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I always think about people being in their jobs and seeing unmet needs in their organization and them asking, hey, can we get some of this training so that, again, they can provide more value? They can expand their scope. And that's what we're here for. So
Mhm.
hopefully we'll get some of those requests.
And we're open to conversations with companies. I know we've done it in the past where we've brought in a speaker and a company has helped sponsor that particular speaker to come in, and the speaker does something special with them and then does a chapter event for us. And we help balance out the cost of bringing that speaker in. I know their speakers definitely would love to go back to in person because it's a very different dynamic doing in person than it is virtual. But I expect that there's still going to be a lot of speakers that are doing virtual opportunities. So there's, if your company is interested in bringing in a speaker or talking to us about co-sponsoring or sponsoring, please let us know. We are happy to have those conversations. Absolutely would love to have those conversations. Yep. Oh my goodness. So, for many people who have attended chapter meetings this year and PDD, you all already know that I can talk forever about pretty much everything. And we've already talked, I believe, almost half an hour at this point. Is there anything that you guys would like to share with the chapter before we call it a night?
Just a reminder that we are looking forward to 2022 and the 30th anniversary of the Central Iowa chapter. Given how things are, just stay safe out there, wear a mask except when you're on Zoom, and premium podcast access.
We'll get the details out about that.
Yeah. And I'll just continue on that conversation of, members out there, plug in, volunteer, go to the sessions, give us ideas, be involved, and use it to help you expand your presence with your clients or your employers. Use us as a tool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, excellent. We're going to wrap this up. Which means at some point I'll hit the button to stop recording, and once it renders, I'll be posting this on YouTube. Which, if you're a chapter member, that's where you found it. Feel free to send us emails or post a response in the blog, on our website, or on this YouTube video itself, and we will read your comments, and if we need to get back to you, we will attempt to do that. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you guys for jumping on this idea and participating in this. I think this is going to be fun. We're going to aim to do it at least once a month, unless something special comes up that we need to discuss, and put out a special episode and get that premium podcast idea rolling. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.